Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Max Sports Entertainment. My name is Deepak Shankar, and we're here to recap some more NBA news and what's been a crazy offseason. So, first we got LeBron saying he's going to leave LA, play for another team next year. So, I think that's interesting. I mean, they paid Austin Reeves. They're obviously going to stick with Luka, and I think once they traded for Luka, I think that was the direction they were going to go in anyway. They didn't want to pay LeBron $50 million or whatever it is at his age at this point. Obviously, despite how great he's been previously, but he probably has 1 or 2 more years left max. So in terms of where I see him going, in terms of what's most likely, I mean they're saying the Warriors with Draymond Green opting out, and so you would have Steph, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And as well as Draymond Green, so they're trying to make that happen where they would sign LeBron and then trade for Anthony Davis after that, which I think would make sense, although the team would be very old, and even though LeBron has obviously said he's always wanted to play with Steph, I think the fit would be, while the fit would be good, I think it would just kind of be a little weird where obviously they had the big rivalry in the 2010s, and then him joining the Warriors, I think probably unfortunately wouldn't sit right with a lot of people, but I think him going to Miami with Giannis and Bam would be a really good fit, especially as like a point forward to two front court players that are very dominant in Giannis and Bam, and then if another homecoming with the Cavs, I mean, just providing more of that veteran experience. Already got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year in a relatively weak East, so that could be a great fit, or a place like, I don't know, San Antonio. Or if you wanted to go to Detroit, those last two seem like less likely options. It seems like it's just going to be between the Cavs, the Heat, and the Warriors. So we'll see how that plays out. And then I think the Lakers. We'll see if it pays off for them, because obviously when LeBron joined, the Lakers were really bad for several years. And then he brought them a title and brought them a good amount of success. And so we'll see if they can replicate that with Luka. But I personally, I think they have a chance to, but I doubt it. So we'll see how that plays out. So there was that news. We'll see where LeBron ends up. And then the second news, the big news, Kawhi being traded back to Toronto. So he will be back with the Toronto Raptors like he was in 2019. He was traded there from the Clippers for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, and a couple of firsts and seconds in terms of draft picks. So in terms of the move, I really like this move for the Raptors. I think they needed that scoring boost, and you get another guy who can defend a team that was already good at that. And so in a weaker East, I think that move can really put them in prime position to be a real contender in the Eastern Conference. I think it's a great fit. And so obviously, Kawhi, that's probably the place he's most loved at this point. I mean, obviously you saw Drake's reaction. He was hype. Brought them their only championship, was arguably the best player in the world that year. So I think it's a great move for the Raptors, and who knows, they could probably win another title or at least get to another NBA Finals now that Kawhi's back there. And then for the Clippers, I think it's just rebuilding at this point. It's just, obviously you let Paul George go to Philly a couple years ago, and then Kawhi trading him now. So at this point, you're just kind of rebuilding, moving away from older players, and it just seems like obviously that pairing with Kawhi and PG just did not work, and the Thunder were the beneficiaries of that trade, obviously getting SGA and winning a championship. So one of the most, if not the most, lopsided trade in NBA history, a complete failure for the Clippers, but now they get to step back, reassess, reevaluate, and just get additional draft capital to build for the distant long term. I mean, they have Darius Garland, but he's a nice player, but I don't see him becoming like a superstar or anything like that. So just gives him a chance to rebuild, to hopefully get future picks like in the late 2020s, early 2030s that are top 5, top 10 picks, so that they can get a true franchise player. And so that's all I had. Appreciate you guys for listening.